Once again, I have the high privilege of introducing President Bruce Benson. I'm a slow learner. I typically go through his resume and embarrass him, and halfway through he's waving me off. So I'm going to skip that part and just say that in these times of troubled waters in the American economy, the Colorado economy, and particularly in the institutes of higher education, we're lucky as hell to have him as a leader. Bruce?
I'll find the right one here in a moment. Well, thank you, David. That's the kind of introduction you should use. And I might just ad lib right here and say, what's going on at the university today and a few other places, I'd much rather have been here all day today instead of where I was. So anyway, I really do appreciate it, and I'm sure you had a great and exciting day today and very beneficial. I had the privilege of being one of the original board members going back in 2001, served until I took over at the university. It was a wonderful experience serving with all of these folks. I mean, whether it was David or Bill and Claudia and their passion and what they're doing. I look at Bill Kale out here in the audience, and this would not be here today without Bill Kale. Probably a lot of people don't know that, but he's the one that put all the pieces together originally. And then I look at, is John Bliss here? Anyway, John Bliss has been a friend of mine and worked together for 25 years. And I just, it's really a pleasure and a privilege to work with all of these people. And then I look at my friend Ian Dablowitz down here, and we've worked together for over 20 years, I guess, since you've been at the foundation. So it really is a wonderful group of people. Is Pete Steinhauer here? Pete came in and took my job, and I'm sure he's putting his passion for the university as when he was a regent and everything else he's done for the university right into the Coleman Institute. So, you know, I think you're very fortunate to have Pete here sharing his expertise with you. So I'd just particularly like to thank Bill and Claudia Coleman for their tireless support. And, you know, they even went so far as to host an event for us when we were out in California about 6 weeks ago. Now, I hate to tell you, but Bill didn't even show up. I mean, that's what he cared about. Actually, we'll excuse him because he had had an accident, and he's now recovered, or almost totally recovered, which I'm really proud to see that. So what we're seeing today is the realization of their vision that's been going on now for about 10 years. This conference brings together some of the best minds in the country and the leading researchers in the field and staunch advocates for people with cognitive disabilities. And, you know, we all have a common goal here at the university and at the Coleman Institute, and that's to improve people's lives. So as we all know, today is another step in the ongoing journey, and, you know, our work will not be done and may never be done completely ever. So, but as we have the right people addressing the right issues in the right way, and I'm confident we will continue to make progress toward that goal of improving the lives of those with cognitive disabilities and their families' lives. So thank you all, and thank you for all that you do, and we're delighted to have you here with us today. So thanks. Thank you, Bill, Claudia.
Well, now it's time to include what's, I think, been a great day. In reflecting on today, a number of things come to mind. The notable inclusion and participation of the University of Colorado Law School, and its participation has really been noted and appreciated with great sincerity. We feel we haven't been ready for the law school yet, just as we haven't been ready for Tom Gilhooly yet or Peter Blanc yet. Their soaring rhetoric and contributions to the events of the last 36 hours has, for me, and I suspect for some of you, been a highlight of the past 10 years at our conferences. I don't believe 10 years ago we could have, frankly, pulled off a conference in which we characterized the right to technology access as a centerpiece of our concern and considerations today, without many of you being both surprised and a little skeptical. But I don't doubt for a moment that those of you today who heard Tom speak, the original litigator in the right to education lawsuit in 1971 for exceptional children here in the United States that ultimately led to Education for All Handicapped Children's Act and the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. I doubt if any of you would have felt that those guys were ready to do a program for us, but I think today that you felt that they were the right people to be here and they articulated the right kinds of messages. Peter, for his contributions yesterday as well as today, we thank you for that. And I don't know if Tom is still in the room here, is he, or is he adjourned? Where is Tom? Tom, we can't thank you enough, buddy. I felt, every year I thought of inviting you. I've been here. But frankly, I didn't feel I was ready, and I didn't feel we were ready. And I wanted you to have the opportunity to do what you did today, and we thank you as a brother. Peter, you are the future in the application of law and the rights to people with disabilities in so many respects. I will never forget the journey we took from Denver Airport to Wyoming when we consulted together and you invited me along for that lawsuit that we got involved in. You have contributed so much yesterday and today to the dialogue in the law school. You've helped cement the substance of our field's connectedness to technology and to civil rights in very important ways that go beyond what I would expect you to understand and appreciate based on only 24 hours experience with us. But trust me, we have greatly profited from your participation. I don't really have any formal remarks, and these haven't been formal remarks. They've been better than formal remarks because they're from the heart. And I've been here now for 9 years, getting on my 10th. Bill and Claudia had this dream beginning in 1993. Dreams are funny things. Very often, they take quite a while in order to realize. The best ones always do, because they drive that inner core of commitment that makes us all human. And that's the best aspects of being human. We've done this now, I feel like 10 years, because for a year I consulted before I came here. And that year was a fantastic year, and we helped lay the foundation then that Bill and Claudia had already started here at CU, and we've grown from there. I think we've taken another big step. I think for the first time, I believe we're starting to work on all cylinders. By all cylinders, I really mean all disciplines. We've involved the law school. We've involved computer science. We've involved some of the public policy disciplines. We've involved some of the basic sciences. We've involved those of you from around the country who've attended today. And as you know, we had 360 registrants. I think during the course of the day, we had very close to 400 people in this room at various times. And from so many different perspectives, disciplines, industry, so many different universities, people with disabilities, people without disabilities. The kind of coming together that I think Bill and Claudia, and certainly myself and Enid, and so many of you as well, felt that we could pull together within a decade or so. And I think things that are worthwhile are always worth working for. And I believe that we've gotten to the point now where we have a tremendous foundation to build on, provided that you stay with us. And so I ask of you, those of you who came this year, come again next year and bring a friend. 30 states, 3 foreign countries. I think this is a really good-sized crowd for us. But we could get bigger. If we do, we'll break it up and we'll run it for an extra day. It is a 3-day affair this time, with the pre-conference with the law school and the post-conference tomorrow with the national organization, national provider organization. So I hope you all have enjoyed today as much as I have, and I hope you feel as proud of being part of this, because each of you has been attending a conference built on an idea that represents a new idea in the field of intellectual and developmental disabilities and disability generally, and that is that the future of technology is so bright and has so much potential that the fundamental lives of people with disabilities generally and cognitive disabilities in particular can be transformed for the better. And that's what basically we've all been about, what the Americans with Disabilities Act is about. And now we have, I think, on the cusp of reality, this notion of a right to technology access, because technology has become, for our field, what education opportunities began to become 30 years ago, when the right to education appeared on the screen for people with cognitive and other disabilities. So take this message with you. Come back next year with challenges for us to process and participate with you in as service providers, as academics, as scientists, as engineers, as part of the CU family, extended, because we consider all of you to be, and we know many of you are involved in service provision, many of you are parents, some of you are scientists, and some of you are engineers. But Bill and Claudia Coleman had a great vision when they started this institute, and that vision is going to require the energies and the brilliance that all of you possess in various perspectives that you have that come together to make this field of cognitive technology and disability. And be assured, you are a pioneer merely because you are here and you're listening and you're attentive and you understand and you get it. People with disabilities and cognitive disabilities in particular will not be part of the American dream unless there is affirmative action to include them in that dream. Thank you.